Hello friends, welcome to another video of SW Environment Consultants and Engineers. This is Water and Wastewater Quality Testing Lecture Series Part 1, and in this video we are going to understand about the measurement of biological oxygen demand as per IS 3025 Part 44. So let's start the video. So in this video we will firstly see the introduction of biological oxygen demand, and also we will get some information about BOD. After that, we will understand the principle of measurement for this procedure, the equipments, reagents, instruments and glassware which are required for this procedure. Then we will see the step-by-step procedure for the analysis. Lastly, we will calculate the biological oxygen demand based upon the readings, and then we will discuss the measurement uncertainty of this procedure. So now let's start the video by having some brief introduction about biological oxygen demand. So now let's understand the definition of BOD first. So basically the BOD stands for the measure of oxygen which is utilized by bacteria to break down the organic substance present into the water sample. So let's understand it with simple examples. Assume some water sample is having X amount of organic matter into it. So in order to make the water pollution free, we have to remove this organic matter. So the organic matter is removed by the bacteria by biologically degrading them. Okay. So in order to degrade that organic matter by bacteria requires some amount of oxygen. So whatever amount of oxygen is required to bacteria to biologically degrade that organic matter is known as biological oxygen demand. Okay. So higher the quantity of organic matter in water, it corresponds to increased BOD level. So higher the organic matter, higher the oxygen demand will be. Okay. BOD can be measured in milligram per liter unit using either 3 days method or 5 days method. In 3 days method, the temperature of incubation is set at 27 degrees centigrade, and this method is as per IS code. And in 5 days the temperature will be 20 degrees centigrade. This method is as per AFA method. Okay. So when the BOD readings are significantly low, then it refers to the better quality of water with minimal organic pollution, while higher reading points to the poorer water quality and increased pollution. Higher BOD levels can lead to dissolved oxygen. We will say this dissolved oxygen as DO in this process while the whole video. So in DO depletion, when the significantly higher organic amount is present into the water sample, the bacteria will consume more oxygen. Okay, so that's why in any water body the dissolved oxygen which is present into the water body will significantly deplete and rapidly deplete. So when it is depleted significantly, it will impact the aquatic life, causing imbalance in ecosystem. So this is simple. If dissolved oxygen will decrease rapidly, then no oxygen will be available for other biodiversity present into the ecosystem. So they will die eventually, and imbalance in ecosystem will occur. To avoid such type of incidents, the permissible limit of BOD is set at 10 milligram per liter for domestic effluent discharge from the CPCB standards. So in ATPs and STPs, the BOD is decreased in aeration tank by infusing the required amount of oxygen and microorganism into polluted water. So whatever amount of oxygen is required, firstly it is measured in laboratory. So whatever oxygen is required, it will be provided by the aerators in aeration tank. So how can we measure the BOD? Let's understand the principle of measurement for biological oxygen demand. So let's understand how can we measure the biological oxygen demand in water sample. Let's understand the principle of measurement for this process. So the procedure of measuring the biological oxygen demand is basically a bioassay process, because we are performing this procedure with the help of living microorganisms. Firstly, we have to prepare the dilution water. So distilled water is saturated with the oxygen first. After saturation with oxygen, it is inoculated with bacteria and nutrients. After which the whole dilution water which is containing the sample is incubated for 3 days or 5 days depending on the method. we have to measure the initial DO before incubation and final DO after incubation of 3 days or 5 days. This DO can be measured by the titration against sodium thiosulfate with the help of starch indicator. So after the titration, we'll be knowing the difference. After the titration, we'll know the initial DO, value of initial DO and value of final DO. So whatever difference between final DO and initial DO occurs, this gives us the amount of dissolved oxygen consumed by the microorganism to oxidize the organic matter while in incubation. Let's understand this. So as we have said that we have provided the sample and the dilution water which is containing nutrients and microorganisms. So before incubation, we will measure the dissolved oxygen amount. We will note that. So this must say for example, the DO is 8 milligram per liter. After incubation, what will happen in incubation is the bacteria will biologically degrade the organic matter present into the sample. For that, they will consume the oxygen from that, say 8 milligram per liter of saturated oxygen which we have provided to that. After 3 days of incubation, we will take out the sample bottles and we will measure the final DO. Say for example, the final DO of sample is 5 milligram per liter. So we can have the difference. The 3 milligram per liter of oxygen is consumed by the bacteria. So this, with the help of this difference, we can calculate the biological oxygen demand of the particular sample. So this was the basic principle of the measurement. Now let's understand which type of equipments will be required to perform this analysis. So now let's see which type of equipments will be required to perform this procedure. So in reagents, we will require phosphate buffer solution, magnesium sulfate solution, calcium chloride solution and ferric chloride solution. These 4 solutions work as nutrients during the process to provide nutrition to bacteria present into the sample. We will see that in procedure, and one normal NaOH or one normal H2SO4 to adjust the pH. pH should be neutral side in this process. We will see everything in while performing the procedure. Then we will require manganese sulfate solution, alkali azide solution. These 2 reagents fixes DO into the solution, dissolved oxygen into the sample. Then we will require concentrated H2SO4 which dissolves the precipitates which are generated by the manganese sulfate and alkali azide. So this is the reagents which are required to perform the procedure. The preparation of all these reagents is given in annexure. You can refer to the annexure and you can know the exact procedure of preparing the reagents. Now let's see which type of instruments and glassware we will require. So in instrument, we will require only BOD incubator which provides the environment to the bacteria to degrade the biological matter present into the sample by providing them a suitable temperature and moisture. Where in glasswares we will require BOD bottles in which we will fill the sample, conical flask for titration, burette again for titration, and pipette to add the sample and reagents into the sample. Okay, so this was the instruments and glassware we will require. So now let's see the procedure of analysis to measure the BOD into the sample. So now let's start with the step-by-step procedure of measuring the biological oxygen demand in given sample. So firstly we will start with preparation of seed water. So basically you will require 300 ml approximately sample plus seed water in one bottle. So whatever amount of bottles you are putting for BOD, you will require that much amount of water as well. So here I will be putting 2 bottles for blank, 2 for sample and 2 for standard BOD of known value. So that I am taking here 4 liter of seed water. So firstly you have to aerate this distilled water. You take required amount of distilled water and aerate with the aerators for minimum 12 hours. After aeration is completed, put this water on standby for 4 hours. After the 4 hours completed, we will introduce nutrients into this sample. So per 1 liter of water, 1 ml of each nutrition will be required. The nutrients are, first is phosphate buffer solution, second is magnesium sulfate, calcium chloride and ferric chloride. So 1 ml of each solution will be required in 1 liter of water. So here I am taking 4 liter of water, so 4 ml of each nutrition will be required to be added to the water. First I will add 4 ml of phosphate buffer. Next I will add 4 ml of magnesium sulfate. Make sure you are using separate pipette for adding reagents and sample as well, and wash every glassware proper with tap water and distilled water to avoid any contaminations. Third, CaCl2, calcium chloride. Next is FeCl3, ferric chloride. So we have added all the nutrients into the water, but there are no microorganisms present into this water right now. So we have to introduce some amount of microorganisms or bacteria into it. Here typically we are using the water of aeration tank, which is containing approximately 1200 milligram per liter to 1600 milligram per liter of volatile suspended solids. I will be adding this water sample 1 ml per liter, so I'll add 4 ml for 4 liters. After preparing the seed sample, we will add sample into BOD bottles. Here we are having the sample of STP inlet. So estimated BOD for particular this sample is approximately 150 to 200 milligram per liter. Okay. How can we estimate the BOD value of any sample? In case of STPs, the typical value of BOD depends on value of COD. So the ratio of COD and BOD in STPs is value of BOD is equals to 1/3 of value of COD. Okay. So here we have the COD value of this particular sample around 600 milligram per liter. So the estimated BOD value is approximately between 150 to 200 milligram per liter. So we will take 6 ml of sample. In case you suspect the BOD value of your sample is high, then you can dilute the sample and take sample accordingly. The table is visible on the screen. You can refer to that and you can dilute your sample and take the sample accordingly. We will take 6 ml of sample in 2 BOD bottles. So one thing I also want to mention here, the pH of the sample has to be neutral, because if the sample is acidic, highly acidic or acidic side, or it is in alkaline medium, the bacteria cannot survive in such mediums. So make sure the pH should be neutral side. If the pH is higher or lower, you can adjust the pH with the help of H2SO4 and NaOH. Now we will add a standard solution of biological oxygen demand of known value. This solution is having BOD of 200 milligram per liter. So we will add 6 ml of this in another 2 bottles. The reason behind putting this solution with the sample is to validate the method and to achieve the accuracy. So now we have added 6 ml of sample in each bottle for sample and standard solution, and another 2 bottles we have not added any sample. These 2 bottles are for measuring the dissolved oxygen of blank. One we will measure initial DO, and another bottle we will measure the final DO after 3 days of incubation. So let's fill this bottle with the seed water. The bubble should not form while filling the bottle, because if any bubbles are formed into the water, they will give errors in dissolved oxygen value. So add slowly and make sure no bubbles are formed. Do the same procedure with all the bottles. So now we have filled all the bottles with the seed water. we will transfer all the bottles into the BOD incubator. We will just take one bottle to measure the initial DO. So let's move to the measurement of initial DO in blank sample. Now let's measure the initial DO in blank bottle. So to measure the DO, we have to add some reagents. First we have to add 1 ml of manganese sulfate MnSO4. After that we have to add alkali azide 1 ml, and after that we have to add concentrated sulfuric acid. So let's add all the reagents one by one. Now we will add alkali azide 1 ml. Now when you will add alkali azide into this sample, instantly you will see that brown color precipitates will start to form, as you can see here. So let the precipitates form, and after that let them settle down at bottom of the BOD bottle. So now you can see the precipitates are settled down at the bottom of the BOD bottle. Now we will add concentrated H2SO4 very carefully into this bottle. Add 1 ml of concentrated H2SO4 very slowly and carefully. So when you will add concentrated H2SO4 into the bottle, the precipitates will get dissolved and will get disappeared, and brown color will be visible. After adding H2SO4, close the bottle and shake it. You will be able to see the clear sample. The precipitates will get dissolved. Okay. Now we will move to the titration part. So now let's measure the DO by titrating the sample. Take 201 ml of sample from the BOD bottle, measure it and transfer it into 500 ml conical flask. Fill the burette with standard 0.025 normal sodium thiosulfate. Add starch indicator 1 ml. When you add the starch indicator, the color of sample will turn into blue color. Okay. After adding the starch indicator, you will be able to see the blue color is appearing the very dark blue. Sometimes it looks like a black color, but it's dark blue color. Titrate by adding drop by drop of thiosulfate until the color disappears. Whenever the color disappears, that is the end point of titration. So as you can see, the color is disappeared. Whenever the color disappears, stop the titration and note the reading. The reading for this titration is 7.8 ml. You can see the calculation on your screen. So whatever the burette reading is, that is the amount of dissolved oxygen present into the sample. So we can say that here the burette reading is as 7.8 ml. So the dissolved oxygen into this blank sample is 7.8 milligram per liter. Now we put the BOD bottles of sample and blank and standard sample into BOD incubator. After 3 days, we'll take out the bottles and we will check the final DO. So before moving to the final DO in water sample, I have some tips for you for routine practice to make your process smooth and error free. So first of them is this: ensure you add precise seed addition of bacteria content into the sample. An excessive volume of bacteria may lead to sample failure due to higher DO depletion. As we have understood in initial slide of introduction, the higher amount of bacteria there will be, the more oxygen they will consume. So here in BOD bottle we have limited amount of oxygen. So in case you add excessive amount of bacteria, the bacteria will consume more oxygen and the DO depletion will be rapid and your sample eventually will get failed. So to prevent that, add 1 ml of wastewater from aeration tank which is containing 1200 to 1400 milligram per liter of volatile suspended solids. Make sure you don't misunderstand this. It is volatile suspended solids. Again, add 1 ml of wastewater from aeration tank, any aeration tank, but it should contain 1200 to 1400 of but it should contain 1200 to 1400 milligram per liter of volatile suspended solids. So this you can add in 1 liter, 1 ml in 1 liter dilution. If you are taking 5 ml, if you are preparing 5 liter dilution water, then add 5 ml. So you can add it in this portion. Okay. And next, maintain pH in neutral side, because in highly acidic or basic medium the bacteria cannot survive, so that's why you have to maintain the pH. Then prevent the air bubble by filling the upper caps with distilled water and containing and conducting daily checks. Okay, so what this mean basically, when you put the BOD bottles in incubator, if your cap from where you have, if when we put the BOD bottle in incubator, the cap if it is not filled with distilled water, there are chances, I am not saying this happens every time, but there are chances that may some small tiny volume of air bubble may enter in your BOD bottle, and that will give you errorful results. To prevent that, make sure you fill the caps with the distilled water, so the air cannot enter into the BOD bottle and you will get accurate results. Okay. Then make sure you check intermediate DO depletion on second day to monitor the DO depletion, so that the entire incubation period does not become futile. Okay. So what we mean to say by this is we should check the DO on second day also, to check the process is going same or not. For this checking, you can to check this second day DO, you can also put one more bottle of a blank sample, so you can monitor how the DO depletion is going. Okay. Next point is ensure the DO depletion should fall in range of 0.2 milligram per liter to maximum 2 milligram per liter in blank sample. Okay. If your DO depletion is less than if in blank, I am talking about the blank sample, the DO depletion is less than 0.2 milligram per liter, it will not work. And if the DO depletion is higher than 2 milligram per liter, then also this is doubtful. So make sure the range of DO depletion falls between 0.2 to maximum 2 milligram per liter. Okay. And set the sample quantity in such a way the final remaining DO level in the sample should remain at least 2 milligram per liter to enhance the result accuracy. Because if you add a sample in more amount, or if you not dilute it properly, there are chances the DO will deplete completely, or there are chances there will be very less amount of DO remaining into the sample after incubation. So to reduce that inaccuracy and enhance our accuracy, make sure set the sample in such a way so the minimum DO after incubation should remain minimum 2 milligram per liter, so that we can have more accurate results. Now let's move to the step-by-step procedure for measuring final DO. So after incubation of 3 days, we have taken out the BOD bottles, and now we will measure the final DO into bottles. To measure the final DO, again we will follow the same procedure as we have followed in measurement of initial DO. First we will add MnSO4 1 ml in each bottle. After that we will add 1 ml of alkali azide in each bottle, and lastly we will add sulfuric acid 1 ml in each bottle. So let's start. After adding the MnSO4, we will add alkali azide. Now you will be able to see that the precipitates are formed into the bottles. After adding the alkali azide, shake the bottles properly and let the precipitates get settled to bottom of the bottles. After the precipitates will get settled at bottom, we will then add concentrated H2SO4 into bottles, and then we will move to the titration. So let's wait till the precipitates get settled to the bottom. So as you can see, the precipitates are settled at the bottom. Now we will add concentrated H2SO4 in each bottle. 1 ml in each bottle we will add. You will able to see that after adding the H2SO4, the precipitate will get dissolved. Close the bottle neck and shake them properly so precipitates get dissolved properly into the water. After dissolving all the precipitates, we will move to the titration part. Now you can see that the precipitates are dissolved with the help of concentrated H2SO4. Now we will move to the measurement of final DO. So we will titrate this sample. So here we are taking the bottle of final blank, and we will measure 201 ml of the sample from this bottle, and transfer it in 500 ml conical flask. Now add 1 ml of starch indicator. We have to follow the same procedure as we have done in measurement of initial DO. So you will be able to see the blue color is appeared. Now we will titrate it with the help of 0.025 normal sodium thiosulfate. The sodium thiosulfate is very slowly reactive. So make sure you titrate the sample very slowly, drop by drop. Okay. So here you can see the color is disappeared. This is the end point of the titration. Whenever the color disappears, stop the titration and note the reading. So the reading of final DO is 6.2 ml. Do the same procedure with other bottles. You will be able to see the results of final DO of every bottle on the screen here. Now note the reading for every bottle, and let's move to the calculation part. So now let's understand the calculation. How can we calculate the BOD based upon the reading we got? So we have already prepared the Excel sheet on which we can easily calculate the BOD by applying the values. But before that, let's understand the formula first. So the formula of calculating BOD is DI minus DF minus BI minus BF. So you have to multiplied by F divided by P. Let's understand the terms. DI is initial DO of sample, and DF is final DO of sample after incubation. So you have to minus the final DO from the initial DO. Whatever value you get here, subtract the initial DO minus final DO of blank. So BI stands for the initial DO of blank and BF stands for the final DO of blank. So minus the final DO of blank from the initial DO of blank, and whatever value you get, you minus from this. F stands for the dilution factor. If you have diluted the sample, the pure sample, so here you have to apply the dilution factor whatever times you have diluted, 1, 2, 3, whatever that is. Here we haven't diluted any sample, so we will apply the dilution factor as 1 only. P stands for the percent dilution of the sample. So as you know, we are using the 300 ml of BOD bottle, in which we will only adding in which we are only adding 6 ml or 12 ml sample. So whatever sample you add, divided by 300 the volume of bottle, whatever answer you get here, you have to put the answer here. So let's move to the Excel sheet and we can calculate the BOD easily there. So let's see that. So as you can see here, we are on the Excel sheet of BOD calculation. The sample IDs are given here: sample 1, sample 2, standard 1 and standard 2. Initial DO for blank for all, it will be 7.8 ml as we have got in titration. Final DO will be 6.2 ml, again we have got it in titration. Initial DO of sample. So I want to make here a point. Whatever dissolved oxygen we are providing
to the whatever dissolved oxygen initially we are providing to the blank to the sample, and standard will be the same. So we will put these values here, 7.8 ml in all columns, and the final readings only get changed. So after 3 days of incubation, whatever dissolved oxygen remaining in the bottle and whatever reading we get in titration, we have to put in this we have to put that value in this column, and we will directly have results in results column. So here for sample 1 the reading was 2.5 ml. So dissolved oxygen was 2.5 milligram per liter remaining into the bottle, and sample taken was 6 ml. So it will automatically give us a result. So result is for bottle 1 is 185 milligram per liter. For second bottle of sample, the reading we got was 2.3 ml. Sample taken was 6 ml, and automatically it will give us answer 195 milligram per liter. For standards, first bottle of standard we have got 2.1 milligram per liter of dissolved oxygen remaining, 6 ml of sample taken, and the answer is 205 milligram per liter. And 2.2 milligram per liter remaining DO was in second bottle, 6 milligram 6 ml we got the 6 ml, we added the 6 ml sample. So we added the 6 ml sample, and it will give us directly answer 200 milligram per liter. So we when you put two bottles or three more than one bottles of same sample, when the results are varied, so you have to take the mean of all the results you have all the results you have got. You have to take the mean of all the results you got. So for sample it will be 185 plus 195 divided by 2, so it will be 190 milligram per liter. So it will be our final result. And for this 202.5 will be our final results. So we have put the standard solution of 200 milligram per liter, and we got the result 202.5. So it is under the standard deviation. So here the method of here our method is validated and the result accuracy is achieved. So this was it about the calculation of BOD. You can find this Excel sheet in description. You can find the link of this Excel sheet in description, and you can access this.
Now let's see the data of measurement uncertainty for BOD. As per IS 3025 part 44, the standard solution of glucose and glutamic acid, which was containing 200 milligram per liter of BOD, has the standard deviation of plus or minus 37 milligram per liter, which is 18.5%. In case of our lab, SWA environmental lab, the mu for 157 milligram per liter of standard solution, mu is 33.5 milligram per liter, which is 21.33%. So this was the small data of standard deviation or measurement uncertainty for biological oxygen demand. So this was the small data of standard deviation, or you can say the measurement uncertainty for BOD. So yes friends, this was it about the measurement of biological oxygen demand. We have covered everything starting from the definition, principle of measurement, equipments, procedure of analysis. We have made calculation easy for you people, and we have also discussed about the measurement uncertainty. Also we have shared some tips based upon our lab experience, which kind of things you have to take care of, so the analysis will go smooth and you will have accurate results. So we have worked hard on this video, so we expect you like this video, and share this video with your friends. Comment down your suggestion if you have any topics to make video on. We will try to make videos on that too. You can follow us on our social media handles. The social media handles are visible on the screen. We will soon come back with another informative video about environment. Till then, take care of yourself, take care of the environment around you. Goodbye.